What is poppin', fam? Spanik here, coach of your Reno Acerola or Acerola, however the hell you pronounce it. I think it's pronounced Acerola, so I'm just gonna go with that. Reno Acerola. And this is the draft recap for the IPC. It's a league. It's another league I joined with a bunch of guys I league with, some new people as well. I will be the Reno Acerola in this league. And this is what I drafted. The draft just finished yesterday, so week 1 games could officially begin. My week 1 game is against OB3 in the Minnesota Wild Charge. You may know him from the UTL, because he's also in the UTL. And we played before. He hasn't been on my channel yet, but he will be within the coming days or so. I built my team already for him, so Obi, if you're watching this, name me a time and place and let's throw down. So let's get right into the draft recap. That's why I have this. That's why I put this in my RU thing, because of my Ubers thing, I have the team, and I'm not going to reveal the team, obviously, because we haven't played yet. But I could at least recap the draft. All right, when I joined the IPC, I took over mid-draft for an inactive coach who only made 1 pick. And that pick was Kyron Black. And I was perfectly fine with this. Kyron Black is one of my favorite mons ever in league format. The first time I used it was UDL Season 1. I took over for a coach who left, and he had Kyron Black with Mega Aggron. I made playoffs at that team and lost first round, but still, I had a lot of fun with Kyron Black. I actually swept someone 5-0 with it. Just spammed Ice Beam for days and nuked everything. Apparently, he didn't know though that Terravolt got rid of Mega Venusaur's Thick Fat, and Ice Beam did 6 million. Great mon though, Kyron. Great mon. Look at these stats: 170 attack, 120 special attack. Solid defenses with 90 and 100. A little slow, but that's fine. I don't mind lack of speed on my teams. You see, that's the thing with me. I don't mind having a slow team if I can make up for it with bulk. And yeah, if I'm early looking at this team, you can tell that it is quite slow. But I do make up for it with some of the bulk and pivoting around on my mons. Because my preferred playstyle is bulky offense with some Volt turn in it. So that's why I like mons like Rotom Wash, Decidueye. Things that could pivot around and could be somewhat bulky. Speed's not there, but the bulk makes up for it. And this is where, yeah. So base 125 HP. So even though the defense is a little lackluster, well, 90 and 100, actually pretty good defenses, not going to lie. The 125 HP, though, this thing could tank hits. Pretty bad defensive typing, though, with Dragon Ice, but neutral hits, it could even tank. 120 has a great special move pool. Dragon Stab, Ice Stab with Ice Beam, gets Flash Cannon, hit Fairies, Focus Blast. Earth Power. This thing's one of the best. 170 physical attack. Its physical move pool is not the greatest, though. Because, yeah, it gets Dragon Claw and Fusion Bolt, but those are really the only 2 physical moves you'll ever run on it. Maybe you'll run Iron Head. Or, yeah, maybe Iron Head or Outrage. Or Rocks. It gets Rock Slide? Wow, I didn't even know that. It gets Recovery with Roost, so you could even run bulkier sets if you really want with this thing. Stone Edge is even there with this mon. Very versatile. It's always that mon where, yeah, you bring it every week and it's gonna do something different. Like one day it's gonna tank hits, the next day it's gonna sweep you. You can even run this thing Scarfed, as well as okay speed with 95. It's below the 100 mark, but that's fine for a mon like this. So yeah, that was the first pick he took, Kyram. And I knew immediately what my Mega was gonna be. Enter Mega Diancie. Ah, yes. Nuke and Nuke's girlfriend. The Click X Click, I like to call them. Because look at this. 160 attack, 160 special attack. The pair of Kyrams, 170 physical attack, 120 special. So I got this to nuke from special, this to nuke from physical. And who says Diancie can't nuke from physical either? Because it gets Explosion. Yeah, Boom Diancie is actually quite common. I, for one, quite do like it, because let's just say you have a Mon that you couldn't beat. There's one Boom Diancie. Yeah, you lose Diancie, but he loses the threat. He loses the threat. Because of the Mega buff in Gen 7, I don't have to run Protect, so I can run a 4th move. So now Diancie becomes a viable user of Stealth Rocks. Gets Heal Bell now. He could even run Heal Bell to heal status conditions. Pair that with a solid move pool, maybe potential setup with Calm Mind. It can hit from physical at Diamond Storm and Boom and Gyro Ball. But it can even hit from special is where it excels. Moonblast, Psychic coverage. I think it gets. Oh wow, it gets Stone Edge. Why would you run Stone Edge when you can run Diamond Storm for 100%? I think Diamond Storm's not even 100% accuracy. It's 95. But that's better odds than Stone Edge. This thing, pretty much every week, you're gonna run Moonblast. You're gonna run Moonblast, Earth Power, depending on matchup. Maybe a Psychic move like Psyshock or Psychic, and then like either a Hidden Power, Rocks, or Heal Bell. That's essentially how you run Mega Diancie in League format with the Mega buff. Without the Mega buff, you normally run 3 attacks Protect. But with this, you can run 4 attacks, 3 attacks Heal Bell, 3 attacks Rocks, 3 attacks Calm Mind, 3 attacks Sharpen even if you run on a physical set. For whatever reason. You know to get any physical fairy move. Quad weak to steel sucks, but I do patch that up, though. I do patch that up. And like I said immediately, looking at this team, think to yourself, nice and steel weakness. Enter Rotom, bulky water type to tank steel hits. Actually, it's water electric, so I'm pretty sure. Does it quad resist? I think electric resists steel. Pretty sure electric resists steel. So this actually quad resists steel, which is really nice. Because I have 2 big steel weaknesses with Kyurem Diancie. And Rotom lately has been a must pick for me. One of my favorite mons in League. Guys, yeah, it's a bulky water that could Volt Switch. What's not to like? Pretty much essentially you run these 4 moves all the time. Volt Switch, then a status Toxic, T-Wave, T-Wave or Wisp, Pain Split, and Hydro. But what I like about this mon, it could be both physical, it could be both physically defensive, especially defensive. They had the same stat in both. Okay, it has pretty good speed for a wall. Base 86. That's faster than Suicune. Because Suicune, I think, is 85. I know Suicune with this hits 206. So this thing's faster than Suicune. Even has good special attack, 105. I've seen Scarf Rotoms around too. This thing's more of a pivot than a bulky water, but it still could be bulky. HP stat is not the greatest, but it really makes up for it with the defense stat. It's still able to tank hits really well. Leftovers, Pain Split recovery is really nice for 1v1ing threats like 1v1ing walls. That's essentially it with Rotom. It just Volt switches around, gets you into your threats like get me into threats like Diancie, and more threats I have later on in the draft. Okay, now with this next pick, I wanted Heatran. I really wanted to take Heatran just because Heatran can really. It's because Heatran at this time really threatens my team. If I really had that bad of a fighting weakness, I was going to be able to deal with it. I would deal with it later. But Heatran got sniped. I got sniped of Heatran by the Anaheim Psyducks. So I was looking through the tier list and I was like, wait, this mon is still around. Necrozma. Yeah, it's a tier 1 now. This draft was GBA format. Yeah, I immediately had 2 tier 1s and I already had Diancie. But I go by this. I could go digging and find gold in tier 5. I am more than happy to go digging and find gold in tier 5 and be able to take a bunch of threats in tiers 1 and 2 and 3. I will take that trade. As you see later in the draft, I do strike gold in tier 4 and 5 in the lower tiers. So enter Necrozma. Prism armor, it's essentially filter, so I could take less. So it's a bulky psychic that takes less damage. From dark moves and ghost moves. and things like that. Not the greatest def, but nice HP to make up for it, along with pretty decent offensive stats too. 127 special attack, 101 defense. Never used this mod in my life. I have never used it. But I always wanted to try it out. I keep hearing good things about Necrozma. The GBA banned it. The NPA is running circles around it. The NPA, Dan has it. The world's greatest stall player. Everyone knows that. So, see, this thing could be a threat. Really excited to try this out. It's another stealth rocker, so I already have two, which is nice. I do get a third later on. You'll see what it is. Nice stealth rocker here. So I don't. So even though I lose out on Heatran, I don't lose out on the stealth rocker capability. I do lose out on the fire type though, and I do lose out on the steel type. And that could have been a nice. That could have been a nice Fairy Steel Dragon of Kyurem, Diancie, Heatran. That Fairy Steel Dragon could have been really nice for me. But it's the draft. You get sniped. It happens. Now the next spawn up, my starter in Sun, Decidueye. Love this spawn. I keep hearing great things about it in League format, and I just had to try it out for myself. Gives me two types I don't currently have, Grass and Ghost, another fighting immunity, another fighting check, which is really nice. Yeah, a little weak to fire now, but I do have Diancie that resists, and Rotom that resists. And S-Crosm just eats hits for days. One thing I like about this Decidueye. Spirit Shackle. It's a physical Shadow Ball that traps your opponent. So if I have Spirit Shackle, it does damage, your opponent can't switch for the next turn. Giving you essentially, let's say on a wall, and this thing gets set up too. Nasty Plot. It's Nasty Plot. Gets Swords Dance. So let's say you trap like a passive mon, like for example, what's like a really passive mon? You can't use it on Chansey because it's a ghost move. That'd be awesome though if you could use it on Chansey, but you can't because it's a ghost type move, so he's unaffected. Trying to think. I don't want to say Suicune, but Suicune. Reason I don't want to say Suicune is because my week 1 opponent has Suicune, and he might think I'm going to be doing this on him, which I may or may not be doing. I'll leave it open. So I could go for Spirit Shackle on, let's say, a Suicune, and then get a free Swords Dance on it because Suicune can't touch me. And I'm at +2. What now, son? Oh, but in all seriousness, no, I am not bringing a Spirit Shackle SD Decidueye on you. I'm probably not even bringing Decidueye on you. You'll see when we fight. I made the team already, but I'm not revealing any sets or anything like that. You will see when we throw down. If you're watching this video, which I'm pretty sure you will be. And now, next up, I realize I need a fire type. I realized I need a fire type because I lost out on Heatran. Okay. Darmanitan's still on the board. I get sniped of Darmanitan by Obi. Obi uploads as well. His link will be in the description because I referenced him so many times in this video. So next pick, Entei. So this thing was still around. I knew it was tier 2. I knew it was bombing on my free points, but I really did not care at all. Because like I said, I like to strike gold in the low tiers. Entei is just a really nice physical fire type. Decent attack stat. Pretty much just Mon. You could always slap a band on it and it's going to do damage. I've even seen special sets work out with Calm Mind. Set up a Calm Mind. I've even seen Power of Solar Beam sets work out, and with the addition of Z moves, Bloom Doom Entei is going to be... Bloom Doom Entei is pretty big. I can see Bloom Doom Entei being pretty big. Kind of like how Bloom Doom Heatran is. So yeah, this is going to be a nice mon to use. I used Entei once. A UDL team I took over had Entei on it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Sacred Fire was nice. E-Speed. Bandit E-Speed did a lot of damage to a lot of different things. Bandit E-Speed did a lot of damage to a lot of different things. It was beautiful. Great mon. I finally get to use it again. Oh shit, nicknames. I didn't reveal my nicknames yet. I'm going with kind of like how Chimpact is going with a avatar theme in the GVA. For this league, I'm going with an Overwatch theme. I'm going with an Overwatch theme because the game Overwatch, it's probably my second. It's probably my favorite game right now. Favorite home console game, next to like MLB The Show or something. I don't really play much console games. I mean, I have an Xbox, so I really don't play much. Like the only things I really play are Overwatch and GTA. Those are really the only things I play most of the time when my friends are on. So I'm naming Kyrim after May because ice. May is in Overwatch. May uses icicles and ice shit. She freezes people and shoots them in the face with icicles and kills them. That's essentially what May does. So that's gonna be Kyrim. Kyrim's gonna be May. Diancie. Diancie's gonna be Widowmaker. Because Mega Diancie is a cold-blooded killer. Widowmaker is also a cold-blooded killer. Yeah, in Overwatch, Widowmaker was an actual human being that was kidnapped by like some terrorist organization called Talon, and they pretty much turned her into a cold-blooded assassin, like literally a cold-blooded assassin. They slowed down her metabolism and turned her skin blue and shit. It's like weird. It's weird. You gotta look into the lore of Overwatch to really figure it out. But that's essentially Mega Diancie, a cold-blooded killer. Look at these stats. Rotom is gonna be Winston. Because Winston's Overwatch's top scientist, and I feel he can make robotics. Rotom's kind of like a robot that uses also Winston in the game uses a Tesla cannon which shoots electricity, kind of like the Wonder Waffle from Call of Duty Zombies. And Rotom's an electric type, so there we go. Necrozma is going to be Doomfist. Mainly because look at those hands. Looks like the Doomfist. Well, it doesn't look like the Doomfist exactly, but I mean his hands are huge. Kind of like the Doomfist is huge. The Doomfist is kind of like this weapon that this guy in Kenya uses for evil in the game. So Doomfist Necrozma kind of has hands like the Doomfist, so that's going to be why Necrozma is Doomfist. Decidueye is going to be Hanzo or Hanzowl. Yeah, I'm gonna stretch this one, Hanzowl. That's what I named my Decidueye in my Sun playthrough. Just because it's Hanzo. Hanzo is an archer in Overwatch. He uses a bow and arrow and shit. So yeah, that's pretty much self-explanatory there. Entei is going to be Junkrat. Junkrat's into explosions. Entei's fire type. That's pretty much set in stone there. All right, on to the next picks. God damn it, I didn't want this video to be too long, but I think it's already over 20 minutes. Pretty sure it's already over 20 minutes. I can't really see from that. Excuse OBS coming up. It's, it doesn't even show it. Rip. All right, whatever. Don't worry about it. So, pick number 6 is Fortress. I finally complete my Fairy Steel Dragon core. Really surprised this thing fell to me. But now I kind of have a bit of a fire weakness that I never really patched up. Because my only fire resists are Entei and Rotom and Diancie. And Entei and Diancie can't really take hits. So that's going to be a little tough to play around, but I'll manage. I will manage. Fortress is really nice. Gives me another rocker. Gives me another way to remove hazards. That makes 3 ways to remove hazards. With Decidueye getting Defog. Fortress with spins. And... shit. And Diancie with Magic Bounce. I'm counting Magic Bounce as a way. Another mon that booms. This is also another Volt Switcher. More Volt Turn. The more Volt Turn, the merrier. And that's essentially Fortress. It just sits there, sets up hazards, and tanks hits. And Fortress is going to be named Torbjorn. Because Torbjorn in Overwatch, he's kind of like Engineer from TF2. He builds turrets made of steel. He's a steel worker. And that's pretty much, Fortress is a steel type, so there we go. And next up, we have Drapion. Feel like I needed Poison, because Poison Dark, 2 types I don't have. Drapion gives me poison, dark coverage, nice pursuit trapper. Decent bulk here with 7110. I've really seen this mon do well. Sniper could be really nice on a crit set. If I run a defensive set, probably Battle Armor is the preferred ability because I can't be critted. Can't be poisoned either. The only status I could be is burned and paralyzed. Really nice. Can even run this thing Scarf offensively if I really wanted to. Decent move pool as well with water coverage, earthquake, gets crunch. I think it gets knockoff. Does it get knockoff? It does get knockoff, which is really nice. Yeah, this is gonna be a really good mon. And the nickname for Drapion is gonna be Oriza. Oriza's a robot meant to destroy Doomfist, and he kind of looks like a Drapion, not gonna lie. So that's how Drapion is gonna be Oriza. And now next up we have Audino. Took me a little while to get this mon. I didn't actually draft it. I acquired it in a trade with the New York Shelmets. Just because he didn't want Audino, I kind of wanted it. He took over for a team. Okay, here's the story of how I got Audino. The New York Shelmets took over a team. That team drafted Audino originally. He didn't want Audino. Instead, he didn't want Audino, so I wanted Audino. So I offered him, yeah, my next pick, I'll trade it to you for Audino. He said deal. That pick ended up being Lickalicky. Because he wanted Lickalicky. He told me what I wanted him to pick. And that was Lickalicky. I don't really like Lickalicky, too passive. So essentially after the draft, I traded him Lickalicky for Audino. And that's how I ended up getting Audino. Only reason I wanted this mon over Lickalicky, Regenerator. Because I'm going to be doing a lot of switching. Not really because I'm going to be doing a lot of switching. This thing also, it's pretty much Lickalicky with Regenerator. Lickalicky does have better defenses, but I'll take Regenerator over that. Regenerator is such a good ability. I switch and gain HP back. What's not to like? This thing also has a better move pool. Fire coverage, fairy coverage, psychic coverage, grass coverage, ice coverage, knockoff. Could be physical or special because they're the same, base 60. 86 defense is not bad with 103 HP. This thing's a pretty solid cleric, not gonna lie. And a cleric is definitely something I needed. And this mon will be named Mercy, because Mercy is the main healer in Overwatch. In the game, not really the main healer, but pretty much the hero that can only heal and nothing else. So that's why it's gonna be named. That's why Audino is gonna be named Mercy, because the cleric. Next up, Meloetta, and this is where I mean by striking gold in the low tiers. Meloetta is tier 4. Well, Audino is tier 5, so that is a way to strike gold too. Meloetta is tier 4. Look at these stats. Decent, great HP stat in 100. Not the greatest attack and defense, but special attack is there and special defense is there. This thing could tank special hits without having to run any investment. A little slow. I said that's fine. I can even... With 128, yeah. So this thing's pretty solid stats. I could even run the pirouette form, which is 128 speed and 128 attack. Which puts the 128 in speed and attack instead of special attack and special defense. And that's going to even be nice, because this thing has a nice physical and special move pool. Set up a combo. I think it's SD as well. No, it doesn't get SD. I thought it did. I think it's bulk up. Does it get bulk up? It doesn't get bulk up. Damn it, so I can't run any physical setup with the pirouette form. Shit. Close combat gets Drain Punch. Elemental Punches. Gets Energy Ball. Thunderbolt. Really nice mon overall. I have it in UTL as well. And it's second in kills in UTL. My kill leader in UTL is now Zydoge. With 4. So that's Meloetta essentially. It's a special, could be special wall breaker, could be physical wall breaker. I have to run Relic Song though to go to pirouette, but that's fine. Even gets Heal Bell, so I have another Heal Beller potentially. Oh. I wanted this thing over. Mismag was still around, but I did want this thing over. I wanted this thing over Mismag because of the pirouette form. The potential to go physical and fast instead of going bulky and special. Really nice versatility on this mon. And that's what I mean by striking gold in the low tiers. And last pick, I went with memes. And, oh, by the way, Meloetta is gonna be named Diva. Just because Diva is like, it's because Meloetta it's because Diva is supposed to be the, that young gamer girl that freaking everyone likes. Yeah, it's Diva. And that reminds me a lot of Meloetta in a way. So that's why Meloetta is gonna be Diva. And last one's Amolga. I think you all know what this is gonna be named. This is gonna be named Tracer. Because you gotta go fast. 103 speed, my second fastest mon on the team, next to Diancie. Well, actually, technically, Meloetta Pirouette is the fastest mon on my team at 128 speed. But it doesn't really matter. This thing is gonna go fast. Because Motor Drive gives me electric immunity. Gives me a dupe electric type, but I really don't care about that. The stats are not really there, but the speed is what really made this thing good. Speeds was really drew me to this mon. Could also volt switch around. It's gonna be a really interesting mon to use. I've seen it used in WNBA before. The guy essentially used it to agility pass into the coach event just used it to agility pass into things. Very interesting. And with my slow team, this is a meme I'm willing to take. So yeah, that's the draft for IPC. Should be a good season one. Like as previously stated, week 1 we play OB3 and his Minnesota Wild Charge. So Spanic out. I will see you all then. Obi's link will be in the description because I referenced him a lot in this video, and I think it's fair to shout him out. So his link will be in the description. You should check him out. He's a great guy, great uploader. Unlike me, he edits, so he's got some funny stuff in his vids too. So I'll see you all next time. Peace.